Hey, everybody. Welcome to Talk Gaming Podcast, episode 3 already.
3.
That's been a short 3 weeks. I'm joined here by the usual, myself, Chris. I got Jbone, I got Rich, the Seventh Sword, and Bob. As usual.
Yeah.
We're all here. We're all gaming. We're all up to date, and we've got some news for you guys. So, what have you guys been up to last week since the last
fucking
podcast?
Godzilla, dude. That was awesome.
It was good.
I haven't seen that yet.
It's fucking sick.
I heard
dude.
it was good.
It's fucking watch it. It's fucking killer,
Anything like the old Godzillas?
dude. It is like the old Godzillas. That's what makes it so awesome, dude. And when you actually see Godzilla, you're like, fuck.
Does it look as good as like Pacific Rim?
Oh my god, the
Or better?
special effects are.
I don't know.
Really
They're
good.
saying that Godzilla's fat. That's what they're.
Yeah. Well,
Fatzilla.
Whatever, dude. Once you see the movie, you're like, holy shit, this is fuck yeah.
I heard my friend Justin was telling me that they have like Godzilla has like complete disregard for like the city. He's just like knocking down buildings like it's like they're like paper, you know.
Well,
I was like, oh man.
Justin he's correct.
Is it still claymation?
Shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yes, Seven.
So in terms of games that we've been playing for the last week, I'll answer this one for Jbone. He's been playing Arkham City.
Oh, wow.
Batman
Big
Arkham City,
surprise
still on
on
it.
that one.
No, tell him the information I told you. No,
All right,
update
I'm
it.
going to
Come
speak
on.
for Jbone. Jbone found out that he does not need to play the downloadable content in order to get the trophies for the platinum for
Yeah.
Arkham City.
You got
So he's going to play New Game Plus, get the last 2 trophies, and then he's going to get
Boom.
himself a PlayStation 4.
That's right.
Aren't you?
Y'all can suck my ass, dude.
We already got one a while ago, so.
Hey, you're a bit late.
It was November.
Whatever.
So.
What are you doing, Bob? Get the fuck out of here.
Bob's doing, Bob beat Bound by Flame, so we'll review that a little later on. I've also been playing the new Transistor. It's pretty sweet. And I've also played Child of Light.
Transistor and Child of Light are on PS4, and I both on PS3,
And-
right?
Yeah. Yes, Child of Light's also on
Also,
Xbox One.
yeah,
and
Xbox
then
One.
I don't know if Transistor's on Xbox One, but definitely, I mean, my first impressions with Transistor, it's definitely a game that has a lot of, it has a little turn-based in it, has a lot of cool stuff, looks really great. I really enjoy it. I haven't played much of it.
Rich,
And
what have
Rich?
you been playing?
I'm also playing Bound by Flame, and as well as Child of Light, and I really want to play Transistor. I'm going to download that tonight because I'm a big fan of Bastion, their previous game.
Bastion? Yeah.
Amazing game, so I can't wait to see what they did here. And Bound by Flame.
That's about it, huh?
That's about Bound by Flame.
That's all you played?
No, it's just not.
No, I mean that's all you played. You didn't play anything else besides Bound by Flame in the last week.
And no Child of Light too.
Child of Light, that's right. Yeah. Chris here. I have been slow to get to stuff because I've been busy, but I'm working on Bound by Flame. I'm almost done. Beat Sticker to the Man last week. That's about the most recent developments I have. But I did pick up Wolfenstein today for PlayStation 4, so I'll be digging into that hard the next few days.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to start playing that. But that's about it. And that's probably like the first game in the longest time that hasn't been delayed. I think it's besides like Battlefield and like Assassin's Creed, probably one of the only titles that's come out sort of near the launch that hasn't been delayed. Watch Dogs was delayed.
Division.
Division was delayed.
Club.
Everything's
Drive
delayed.
Club.
I don't know. Like every time at this point, like at first I was like, I'd read about a game getting delayed and I'm like, it's for the better. Like, it's for the better, whatever. But the problem is
That weight, dude.
it's
that
the
long
wait, and I
dude.
think it's the wait, and that also goes with when they announce games. Like I think everybody's jumping the gun and announcing games too soon.
Yeah,
That's what I think.
If they're going to delay it all the time, they should
Right.
just not announce it until they're
Nothing
100% sure.
Nothing is more soul breaking than seeing say The Division at E3 last year, an entire year ago. And then you're waiting for it to come out this year, and then you hear it's being pushed till next year.
Oh, my
so it's
God,
like, wait a minute.
yeah.
So you're telling me that you're gonna sell me a game that you announced 2 years before it comes out? Like, come on, dude.
When I heard about that, I was really upset. I was like, come on.
Yeah, dude, that was one of the most exciting ones. That was pumped for.
You guys want to talk about disappointing delays? I'll give you one
What do
disappointing
you want to
delay.
talk about, Reach?
Final Fantasy 13, Versus 13, originally announced, 7 years ago?
Yeah.
And now it's being changed to Final Fantasy 15.
Rich, tell us the most famous fucking delayed game ever, dude.
Oh, the most famous delayed game ever right now?
Yeah.
Well, there are two that come to mind.
All right,
Guardian?
what's
Last
one?
Guardian is the one that I'm
Yeah, Last Guardian, dude. I was waiting for that.
Yeah.
That sucks. I want that game so bad. Oh my god.
And then there was another one that that everyone got like up in arms about, Duke Nukem Forever.
Yeah, Duke Nukem
Yeah,
Forever.
that's
Now let's talk about Duke Nukem Forever for a second. What did you guys think of Duke Nukem Forever?
I didn't
Did
play
you play it?
because
I didn't play it.
I played.
None of you played it?
No, I
Nope.
played it for 5 minutes, and that was enough.
Now, why didn't you guys play it?
I heard it sucked.
I heard it was a terrible waste of money and it didn't live up to the Duke Nukem
Okay,
franchise.
all right. Now, do you like Duke Nukem?
I do like Duke Nukem.
Do you like Duke Nukem?
I played a few, but I barely remember.
I love Duke Nukem. And that game, granted, that game was rough. Like, graphically, rough. And, you know, the gameplay was kind of outdated, but that game was so funny. I honestly enjoyed it. I bought it. I still have it. Like, in my wave of when I used to trade in games all the time, that one always stayed there. Because I'm a huge Duke Nukem fan. I got his little toy above my door. But, I love Duke Nukem. It was a good game. I bought it for like $20 at the time. And I had a lot of fun with it. It's probably like $1 now. $1, $2, $3. I'd say buy it.
Maybe a cent.
Just to play it because it's so funny if you like that like juvenile, you know, classic Duke Nukem, rough around the edges
Maybe
humor.
you'll find it in that dig pit.
It's really not
in
that
Mexico.
Yeah, with ET. It's not. I think people were a little bit too harsh on it, but I do think it definitely was a rough game. But it was hilarious. I had fun with what I played. I even played the multiplayer. The multiplayer was like I had a little bit of fun. I played it for like a month.
Yeah.
But I played it with Ed, but my buddy Ed. But that was about it.
The reason why people were really harsh on that game is because look at the development time. Like,
Oh yeah.
it took that long for that?
Yeah.
Well, the other reason was because it wasn't what they showed at like E3 and all of the trailers that they released for it.
Yeah.
It was just like Alien vs Predator.
Oh, yeah,
that game
yeah.
got
Yeah.
delayed like how many
Oh,
times?
Colonial
and,
Marines.
Yeah,
Colonial
yeah, I was
Colonial
gonna say
Marines.
that,
Yeah. And it got delayed, and then it finally came out, and then people were like, well, "This is not what
This
you
is-
showed us."
This is not the same game.
You can't just. It's like building Christmas like 2 years and then coming out with this crap present that you get. You're like, what the heck? I mean,
Yeah.
they can't build it up as much. They should just wait on it and then. I mean, having that excitement for so long, we're gonna have higher expectations.
Right.
We're waiting so long for the game, and then it comes out, and
You're getting like
it's not going to be there. Most games won't, though, and that's the thing. They shouldn't announce it until they are 100% certain that it's coming out. On
I
that
think
date.
they shouldn't announce it until at least 4 to 5 months before its definite release. So basically what you said, but I think the time window they should give people 4 or 5 months to get hyped because Destiny's coming out. It's Bungie, so you know it's going to be it's a solid date because Bungie's really reliable with that stuff. But at the same time, I've known about it for like a year and a half now, something like that, and I'm like not as excited as I was for it when I first saw it, just because I've seen it everywhere. I've seen trailers.
I feel like
And
I
it's like-
played it.
Yeah, and like I know it's gonna be a lot of fun, but at the same
Hope.
time, it's like if I heard about it 3 to 4 months, 4 to 5 months before
Exactly.
it's released, I would have been like, "Oh my god!" like on fire for it. But now I'm just like, "Well, there's nothing I can do about it besides watch like the 3 gameplay videos."
I wonder
so.
if they want to do that because of like pre-order sales. They want to just get it
Yeah,
up
I
like
don't know.
earlier.
That's definitely a big part of it.
Yeah, but having it so long doing the pre-orders, I mean, maybe that's why they just want to build up the time on that.
Another part of it, I think, is information gets leaked all the time now with internet and all that stuff, and people just constantly just stealing the game right out of the freaking like factory and like playing it like, look what I got, you know.
Yeah, with that E3 list and shit. If that's true.
If that's legit, yeah.
If it's
So,
legit.
I mean-
that we talked about last.
I mean, what's the
podcast.
next step? Your game gets leaked. Everyone pretty much it's confirmed, so you have to show something.
Right, but that's a internal development problem. Like if you look at like Rockstar Games, you didn't see anything from
Yeah,
Grand
you
Theft
don't
Auto.
see- you
That's
don't
true.
see
Their
shit.
lips are
Yeah.
locked, dude. For Last Guardian, you don't see anything.
Same
Like
with
Nintendo.
Naughty Dog and Nintendo.
yeah, Naughty Dog, you don't see anything. Like whatever they're doing, other people should take after that. Other developers and start pumping out games a few months before release instead of making me wait 2 years. Like I just don't like that. Because then things get delayed, and then you're just like, really? Like, F this game. You don't even care anymore.
I felt
like,
the same way with Metal Gear Solid 5. They showed Ground Zeroes back in 2012. They showed Phantom Pain last year, and then it's not even released. Or they didn't even get it like rumored it was going to be released in like early Q1 2015.
Yeah.
But it's like the same thing. It's like, oh my god, so much waiting.
Mhm.
You know?
Well, especially for games that like didn't make it even out of development, like Star Wars 1313, they showed that off. I mean, it's not like you can really predict when LucasArts is going to go down the shitter, you know. But
Yeah.
like at the same time, it's like, why the game's like not even close to being done,
But I mean, there's got to be a good playable build of that game, though. Like,
right?
they
But don't
could-
show me when you don't even have a release date
Yeah.
yet. I don't want to
True.
see any of that stuff. Don't show me a CG trailer because I don't care. I want to see gameplay, and I want to
Well, but
see the game in action. several months before it comes out, not a year, not 2 years.
Well, that's what some people like, and that's what it's just kind of like a norm now, and they expect it. And there are people that enjoy and like the excitement for so long, but I mean, I could see your point of not like hate waiting 2 years and then like you just because you lose it.
Yeah.
But there are people that it's for pre-order sales and everything else that just showing stuff kind of gets them like there, kind of shows them that they're still there. Like a band that's like doing little like promos or like little promo CDs, just to, hey, we're still here. I think that's the idea of it.
Yeah, but like that ties back to like the say StarCraft Ghost or Prey 2. Like I was super excited for those games. Now I don't even know what's going on with them. I think Prey 2 didn't get canceled. It's getting like remade. And what I saw from, I think they showed it at E3, it looked awesome. It was like a futuristic open world like Mirror's Edge. It was really weird, and I love the first Prey. It was like one of the, it was close to the launch of Xbox 360. Love that game. And now I have no idea what's going on with it. I have no idea what's going on with Last Guardian. And it's like, if you don't have a definite release date, don't show me anything. Because now it's like, I'm all excited and I don't even know what's coming out.
Well, so like GDC, they asked like Shuei Yoshida, and they're like, hey, so everyone wants to know what's up with Last Guardian.
He's like, what's that?
Yeah, he's kind of like, it looked pretty. And like, that's all he said. And it was like, okay, well, we'll wait till another 8 months.
Yeah, I'll ask you again.
Maybe you'll have something there. What about Agent from Rockstar?
Oh, from Rockstar, yeah.
Where's that game?
Agent, that was supposed to be shown, or that they were hoping to show that at last year's E3, and we're hoping to see it like this year's E3. But I don't know, dude. Like Agent, it's a Rockstar game, so I'm already excited for it just because it's a Rockstar game. But I don't know. Whatever happened to Agent?
I don't know.
Anybody?
But
I don't know.
But hey, Rockstar did confirm that they are working on a couple next gen titles right now.
Yep.
So
it could be one of the.
Yeah, maybe.
Could be one
I guess there's rumor that they are releasing a Rockstar game is releasing a next gen game next year in 2015. Like that's that. Like who knows? It could be Red Dead. People are like Red Dead 2,
Red Dead,
Bully 2. Like
it's gonna be something big for next gen. It's gonna be something awesome.
Oh man, I can't wait.
But a game that I'm pissed that never got out of development hell is Mega Man Legends 3. If there's any Mega Man fans out there, Capcom is screwing him right now.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
It's just not fair. They should have just released that game because when was there an actual like legit new Mega Man game?
Yeah, there was that one game. It wasn't. I shouldn't say development hell, but it was because they had layoffs. So Sony Santa Monica, who made God of War and all that, they were making that new space game. Man, it had so much promise, so much like hope, and that
was
was
there a
it.
title to it or anything?
No, they was like, this is what we were working on, like this type of game. I think they might have had a name, but and that was it. It was scrapped, man. Like people lost their jobs, and it sucks.
That sucks, dude. Because I love God of War, and I'm hoping that it's at E3. So I hope Sony Santa Monica is picking it up.
Well, they're helping. I think Order 1886, ain't it?
Yeah.
I think Sony, yeah.
I hope that's good too.
Me too.
From what I've heard, it's a little rough. Like it's not rough. They said it's just
looks like
your
Gears.
standard first person or third person shooter. Yeah.
Like, or
Well, I mean,
like
if
Last of Us a little bit.
If it has a really good story, though, I'm
always
down.
mention
Like,
that.
that could make it or break it, you know.
Yep. Story, either a really good story or really good gameplay, or both.
It has to have
Preferably
fantastic gameplay.
Does anyone know if The Witcher is going to be at E3?
Yeah.
Oh,
Bob.
You're a man after my own heart, Bob.
You know it's going to
that?
be at E3.
I thought it wasn't confirmed yet.
It
I
was
thought
last year.
confirmed.
Yeah, that
It
game.
was
I know, but I didn't know.
That
if it was
game won
confirmed that it was gonna
E3.
They apparently.
Yeah,
I
it did. Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
I read somewhere that they were going to show gameplay off, like a lot of gameplay of The Witcher 3. So it's coming out. Did it? That's
they
not
ever
one of the
release
ones that
it?
got
They don't
delayed,
even-
is it? See, I can't even talk about a game without talking about if
It got delayed. Yeah,
It got delayed?
pushed back.
Ah.
Last of Us got pushed back. Grand Theft Auto 5 got pushed
Oh yeah,
back.
Last of Us. Jeez.
But I
Grand
mean,
Theft Auto 5 for what?
they got pushed
PS4
back.
and Xbox One
Are
next
you
gen.
talking about last generation
yeah,
or current generation?
Grand Theft Auto 5 last year.
Oh, okay, yeah, that got delayed.
It was supposed to come out in
several months.
spring, and it got pushed back to
Fall.
yeah.
But I mean, at the same time, though, I'm having a game delayed can actually be a good thing because now they're actually trying to take the time. Look at Watch Dogs. I mean, they were going to
Yeah,
come
that's
out
true.
on release date, and now they're waiting and they've
Right.
done more. So I mean, I don't really always find it as a bad thing. I mean, if they're
You're right,
working
yeah.
on a game to make it better, why is that? I mean, I don't feel like that's a bad thing. So I mean, having these delays, which suck, and I hate them, and we just want the game to come out. At the end of the day, I feel like they're just trying to make the game better. I don't know. Out of development hell, I don't really have much, but I mean, I was really excited for Star Wars 1313.
Yeah.
I mean,
We all
I
were,
loved
Bob.
how it looked. It was like, I know it wasn't the Jedi, and I know I'd like to be a Jedi. I want a good Star Wars game.
You're a
but
bounty hunter.
being a bounty. Oh my god, I just love anything with Star Wars. So I mean, having a game
I just love
that
the universe, dude.
it looked awesome too. It looked good, and you see all those lasers and next gen. Oh, I was so excited.
And yes, being a Jedi is fun, but imagine trying to have to fight one, like a full blown awesome badass.
As a
Jedi.
bounty hunter?
Yeah, that'd be such a cool
Ooh.
fight.
You know what I
Well,
want? You know what I want to ask?
I know you hate me a little bit
know
for that.
why
I do.
there was never a Star Wars game. Jedi Power Battles, for example, awesome game. I loved it.
that game was
It's
awesome. I
one
had
of
that
my-
game.
Jedi Power
Yeah,
Battles.
it's
On PS2,
it was-
right? PS1
oh
or
yeah,
PS2?
you play as
PS1.
PS1, yeah.
Plo Koon and all
Yeah,
those
Plo
guys.
Koon and all that.
It was
yeah.
co-op.
Yeah, I want
Mace Windu.
Mace Windu.
I want to know why, like, they've never made a Star Wars game to where your lightsaber actually does what a lightsaber is supposed to fucking do.
Hold on.
Cut through anything and everything.
The
And,
closest
like-
we've ever got to that was Jedi Outcast, Jedi Outcast 2, and Star Wars Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy 1 and 2.
For
And
Xbox,
Metal
Yeah.
Gear Rising.
Shut your mouth. Are you serious?
You can cut through anything in that game.
The
Yeah, that's
swords,
true.
dude. Sword sponges.
Swords, sponges.
You know, a game I really liked. I mean, it was that big. You remember the 64 game, the Star Wars Pod Racer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
yeah,
game-
dude,
oh
oh,
my
man.
god, that
It
was
was,
so
it
awesome.
was so fun.
Like, talk
Yeah.
about peripherals, okay? Like, if they could make one peripheral that I would buy, I'd buy like 6 of them. It'd be like the pod racer things that you get in like GameWorks or like the
Makes
arcade.
the sound and
Yeah.
Can
everything.
you imagine that, dude? Like,
Like-
sitting in like a little pod and like in your living room, like a loading bastard, and you're just like, "Bah!" and you know, and you're just like cruising,
Yeah.
like, oh man, like
Sabulba
I haven't.
and-
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh god, the ball was. I just
Yeah.
loved.
That
It
was
was
a
like the
great
last
one.
one.
Yeah, you hear that?
yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. Rich is a beatbox over here, dude.
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Again, Rich, 7th sword, man.
But like just thinking about these Star Wars games, just talking like how we're excited for it. Easy for them. Like not easy to make, but easy if they made a Star Wars game, that's just new Star Wars game. It's just gonna sell. It's a guarantee.
Star Wars is such an expansive franchise that they could do so much with that franchise. They could make a first-person shooter. What's it called? The not Old Republic. The Commandos.
Commando.
Republic Commando. Yeah, Republic Commando. You ever play that for original Xbox?
No.
Star Wars Republic Commando. It was awesome. It was like a first-person shooter. You play as Republic Commandos, and it was so good, dude. It looked really good. It had normal mapping graphics, so it was really like it looked like Chronicles of Riddick at the time. I don't know if you ever played Chronicles of Riddick for Xbox, but awesome graphically.
I'm speaking of Star Wars, and with EA and all that, I'm surprised they didn't give the franchise to BioWare. You think?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I guess BioWare has Mass Effect, so they kind of have their own Star Wars. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
You wonder if they're going to announce something at E3?
For
oh,
Mass
they
Effect?
for Star Wars, that Visceral Games is probably gonna. I hope they show off what they've been working on.
They on that sheet that we talked about last podcast, they said that they're gonna show Battlefront gameplay. So
So
Battlefront
DICE
3.
is-
So we'll see. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for that because I love the first 2 Battlefronts and I love Battlefield. So I think DICE could do something pretty awesome as long as they don't just copy paste Battlefield and then add
Star Wars sound effects.
Star Wars character models and stuff onto it and sound effects. But I don't know. I love Star Wars. I really, 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 really want a Jedi Power Battles type, like Jedi Outcast or Jedi Academy type game where you can like start as a Jedi, you work your way up, you get new Force powers, you choose your path, and then you customize your lightsaber.
It's a crazy RPG.
Yeah,
I mean,
like like a Star Wars RPG. That's not like Old Republic because I don't like the turn-based / kind of not turn-based feel that it had.
Yeah.
I like the straight up.
you don't want an
custom-
MMO. You just want
Yeah.
like just a
I want a
traditional
good
RPG.
Star
where-
Wars corridor game.
And then you eventually become like a Jedi Master by the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And
dude.
then, even with Mass Effect, or not even just using that, just have multiple endings and
Yeah.
different ways that you can handle it. And
So
Yeah,
Amy,
that'd be cool.
Amy Hennig, if you're listening to this, please give us some more info on the Star Wars game you're working on at Visceral Games right now because it's
true.
that open world game she's working on, and I
I'm cu-
really want to see what
Yeah,
they're
I'm
doing.
curious to see what she's going to do, and I'm also curious to see if what they're going to announce for Uncharted. Like what it looks like, man.
Yeah.
It's like so secretive.
do you hope it's a lot different than the last ones, or do you hope it kind of stays roughly the same?
I like to see innovation, man. Like we're rolling into
Yeah.
new stuff, man. I want to see something.
He's
Really, I from what was it last time you even said like the graphics? I guess they're apparently from rumor says like this shit's supposed to be like the craziest.
the
thing
most
anyone's
photorealistic
seen,
graphics. Yeah, that's
Well,
what they were promising.
I mean, other than graphics, what would make it next gen for you? What would be Uncharted 4? What would make it next gen, other than graphical wise?
Other than graphical wise, I say I think like the voice acting, more options to do like animations, just more immersion, and stuff like that. It's kind of
In terms of like immersion, do you mean like stuff like sand blowing, snow blowing?
Yeah,
like,
I mean, like,
your footprints staying there when you
yeah,
walk.
exactly.
Like,
And they're already there. Like there's games out there that can do that very well. And I mean, even games back then, like Metal Gear Solid 1, when you're walking through the snow,
Yeah.
Like he's like,
For PS1,
whose footprints are these?
Yeah.
It's really cool. So I think I mean, it's kind of hard to say because I want to just jump to like, oh, I want the graphics to be awesome because I am.
Yeah.
I'll do by heart like I'm a graphics nerd.
What about
Like,
storytelling though?
Oh, storytelling, of course.
absolutely.
Which one?
For what? What do you mean?
If you had to pick between the graphical, you're playing a game. Do you care more
Story.
about the graphical?
Story.
Yeah, because I mean, Ocarina of Time, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
that made me like almost I shed a tear.
You were talking about Uncharted and what you want to see. I'm a long time Uncharted fan, and what I would like to see is like I enjoy the linearity of Uncharted because it's telling a story, but you kind of only have a set path. Like you got to go that way to get to that spot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It'd be awesome if they had bigger maps and you could go like 9 different ways to get to the same
That's
spot.
what I mean. Yeah, a
You know,
little
like,
bit.
You can climb on
Yeah.
like everything instead of I got to climb on this yellow.
So
one.
you could do more of like a
Yeah,
stealth
yeah.
approach, and you could do other ways.
Yeah, you got
to
more
attack.
variety in gameplay.
Well, I think
you know?
most games are doing that, and
Exactly.
they should. I mean, that's where
Hitman.
Well,
That's-
that's what
Hitman.
I'm saying. That's where
Hitman.
next gen is going, though. I mean, or should go because you don't want to
This gen.
this gen. Oh
This gen.
gosh,
I know it's hard.
we
no,
gotta
but-
make them do something every time. Every
Corn,
time.
corn in the jar.
Coin in the jar. No, but I mean, I do like linear in a sense at times, but a lot of games, especially if it's like a AAA game, it should have multiple options and make them fun on both sides. I don't want the stealth to be like boring, or there has to be an incentive. to do it.
Linearity is good if it has really good storytelling.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, look at Metal Gear Solid. Like, I mean, I'm talking Ground Zeroes. I'm talking like all of the Metal Gear Solids. They're all very linear, but the story was so engaging that you just kept going, and they give you a reason to go. If you have a linear corridor shooter or linear corridor third-person shooter or whatever you're making, and it's not interesting story-wise, and you don't care to progress through it, so you get bored. You're just like, why am I doing this?
You would even consider Zelda though the same thing. I mean, it's
Right.
very linear too, but it still feels open, and that is fine if they're going to do it like when you go in Zelda and you have to go back and trace, and even Metal Gear Solid you do the same thing. But it doesn't feel like we played Rise, and playing Rise, it was it just Rise? What was it called? Rome.
Son of Rome.
Son of Rome. That game is extremely linear.
Yeah,
there's
that game-
nothing to it other than you can't you never go back, you never trace your steps. You're always just going and moving
A
forward.
to B.
Yeah.
And I think that's a problem with current gen. I mean, with some current gen games, they
Okay.
can't be like that.
I was gonna ask you guys, do you think say for example this E3 they announced Last Guardian and it's like they show footage, they show even if it's just like a trailer, like who cares? But it's like official and they're like coming 2015 or something.
Summer.
Like and it's official, like it's there, it's happening, it's like red hot and people are freaking out. Like, do you think it lost its steam?
No,
Nope.
no. There are some games that at the end will not. Like even think about Metal Gear Solid. Say they waited till 2018. It would. I mean, you might be like a little pissed off about it, but once it comes out, you're like, oh my god, this is
You're gonna
awesome.
buy that game.
So I mean, it really depends on the game. If it's
Yeah.
if it's a big game or people are like, it's already like, where is this? They're just always going to be excited for it. It's just, I don't think that changes.
Okay.
I think, yes.
For me,
Chris.
sorry. Strong point. I just thought of this, so I had to say it. For me, look at The Division. Excuse me. And look at Last Guardian, okay? Last Guardian, they've been holding us up for years now, okay? And then The Division, we've heard about it for about a year and a half, and they've delayed it already. I still care more about The Last Guardian, even though it's been delayed for years, than I do about The Division. The reason I'm still hyped about The Last Guardian is because, besides the fact that Shadow of the Colossus and Ico are my favorite games ever, of all time, the fact that it's The Last Guardian, it's so unique, it's so different, it's something you've never played, or played once or twice with Ico or Shadow of the Colossus. An immersive experience, a gorgeous experience, an amazingly crafted story experience, all of that stuff is keeping me excited and on edge for that game. No matter if it gets delayed another 2 years, I'm still going to be here waiting for it.
Well,
Now, The Division is a third-person shooter set in, I think it's New York, right? It's set in New York, and I can tell, I know it's going to be a lot of fun, it's going to be awesome, but it's still, at its core, it's a third-person shooter that you can play with friends, and you're fighting over territories. It doesn't have that spark or that, what is this? Interest peak that...
Well, you can say that about
Last
most
Guardian
shooters,
does.
though. I
Oh,
mean,
right, I agree.
With the shooters that come out, you're always they're just shooters. Even Wolfenstein, when it just came out. I mean, I haven't even played it though. I'm just going, but it's it's not enough innovation that you feel that you're gonna like really, really strong.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll play it and I might enjoy it, but I'm not like, oh my god, I have to play Wolfenstein. If I don't play Wolfenstein, it's not that big a deal. I feel like Destiny though, it's a there's a little more. There's more innovation. There's going different places.
It's also more budget too.
No, but still,
Way more budget.
But still, they're doing a bunch of different things, and even like BioShock. Even as much as I love it, but playing like 1, 2, and 3, the next one that comes out, it needs to do something way different because we can't for just placing shooters, you can't just constantly do the same. There needs to be more innovation in shooters. They need to add more RPG.
Change. They need to add something.
Yeah.
You can't just copy paste the same game with better graphics.
Like Call of Duty's doing Titanfall.
Yep.
Okay.
It became a very saturated market. It became a quick way to make a buck.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what modern warfare, but
advanced warfare.
I'm curious to see what it looks like.
I really want them to make it good, man. But we talked about it last podcast,
Yeah.
but. If you want to hear our Advanced Warfighter talk, go listen to the episode 1. Was it podcast?
Advanced Warframe?
Advanced Warframe? Yeah.
Advanced Warfare.
It's
that
either
episode
1
2?
or 2. It's not 4.
Yeah, check out the previous podcast for our Advanced Warfare talk. But going back to what you said about Destiny, and tying that into like expanding on the new generation of consoles and what makes it like the next generation, in quotes, is what Destiny's doing with their public servers. They're making an MMO that looks as good as like Halo 4, even better, and that you can drop in, drop out with like dozens of people at once in a game world. That to me is a next generation push.
Oh
yeah, that's true.
And if they do it really good and smoothly, it's going to be something that other people will copy. Which is there's no problem with copying great ideas. I mean, that's kind of like where most games, all good games come from something from some inspiration. So if it's a good idea, take it.
And I'm really excited for Watch Dogs, but I would not consider Watch Dogs a next generation game.
No,
I wouldn't. I mean, 900p or whatever it's running at, 940p, and then like 720p is not next generation.
No,
30 frames per second, it's not next generation. I mean, if they had like thousands of people on the street corner and they had like bustling leaves across the street and all sorts of crazy stuff.
That's what I'm talking about.
You can run it at 30 frames. I'd be okay with that. But give me 1080 because I have a 65 inch something like that TV, and it does matter when you hit a certain point in television size.
Yeah, I don't know how people ever say it does not matter. Once you have
what's the size? The minimum.
It's
42. I think 42.
That's when you start seeing degradation.
Anything over like 42 or 50 is when you start seeing that pull. Like I went from playing Grand Theft Auto 5. We'll use that as an example. On my 42-inch, I got the 65 inch. What is it? 65? 65 inch plasma, and I could tell.
You can
tell.
I mean, it's hard when we got it. I got a 65 as well, but it was so hard to start playing on.
What a difficult life.
No, it was very difficult. You're playing 360 and you're playing PS3. And it's just like you need with a 65, you need a bigger TV because not only graphical wise and all that, the resolution makes a huge difference.
Right, and
it's more of like I would like to say that it's more of like it's not that big a difference, but to a level, it's like standard definition to high definition. I mean, people are like, oh, it looks about the same, but now, can you really watch something in standard definition if you have high definition there? No, I can't.
Now, take for example, a good example is look at like Grand Theft Auto 5. Okay. If you play that on like a 50+ inch TV, you're gonna see, scraggly trees and screen tearing and stuff like that, like in the distance. Stuff is gonna start looking a little haggard and a lot of jaggies. But if you look at like say Bound by Flame, this is a good example. The game doesn't graphically look amazing. It looks pretty good. It looks solid. The textures look good, albeit stagnant. Kind of like Call of Duty environments. But it runs at a native 1080p and it looks clear.
That's
it
clarity.
Looks crisp, dude.
It's the clarity that actually. It might not look the best, and like the artwork is not the best in that game, but it definitely looks
it's
clear.
visually crisp. It looks gorgeous.
Rich,
that 1080p is exactly why people have been PC gaming this entire time because they've been doing that for generations now. Well, not generations, but a long time.
And exactly, and it's like
now, 4K TVs are now coming out, so those are
and they're releasing a new generation of consoles. And I know it's going to take them a while for everybody to settle in and get used to it, like it always does. But if you're starting off, like they should be starting off everything at 60 frames a second at 1080p.
But because Watch Dogs isn't 1080p, it's got to be a really big game. Like Chicago has to be huge for them not to be able to pull that off.
But it won't be as big as it's not as big as Grand Theft Auto 5.
No,
That's the problem.
Oh, damn.
It's not as big as Grand Theft Auto 5, and it's running at almost the same
But
resolution. of
maybe you
frames
can
per second.
go into more buildings.
Maybe, but I mean that's something that I would have expected, and
True.
as well
With the delay.
with the delay, as well as the full-on multiplayer and 1080p.
But
and 60
That's
frames
what
per
makes me
second.
nervous about Watch Dogs.
Well,
man.
yeah, I mean,
It's
we
still
could be
gonna be a
nervous,
good game.
but until we play it, until we actually like have it in our hands, we played it for a month. I mean, there might be like if the gameplay is amazing and it's really fun. I mean, then
Right, I'm not
it'll
one
be
of those.
alright.
I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, I got a new console. I'm never playing anything old again. I'm on my PS3 and 360 all the time, still. But I'm not. I'm definitely not bashing Watch Dogs. I'm just saying I'm not going to consider it a next generation game. I'm saying it's going to be fun, but I'm disappointed that it's not 60 frames and 1080p, as Sony had lied/promised, and that whatever happened with that ad,
And then
that
completely
banner,
took it down.
and
Like,
then
whoop!
completely took it down and said, "Just kidding." Like
that sucks.
It could
man.
still be.
somebody got fired. Yeah, somebody
Yes.
got fired. Someone's sitting on the street right now outside with a woodchuck apple cider that he got from some dude that felt bad, and he's sitting there peddling for
me.
coins, dude.
Brought
Yep,
it.
just because of that one banner.
Yep.
Somebody canned him, dude. But yeah, I mean that's what I consider next generation is fluidity, like Christmas of graphics, just like you said, Jbone. You're a big graphics guy. I am too, but I also want storytelling. I want good storytelling. I want great gameplay. They just gotta have a good blend. I mean, we always bring it up every podcast. The Last of Us is a perfect example of what you should do.
Yeah.
That was
it has all three.
it has everything.
Well,
And
even like the Division, like when they showed that trailer, you showed them like the bullet holes going through a glass.
That is
and,
my
like,
Yeah.
the door and stuff like that stuff, man. Like
That-
the
the
little
little
things,
details.
the little
Yep.
details that add up, man.
Yep.
And
And
then, but even if it looks beautiful and the gameplay is horrible, you're not gonna enjoy it. You need
No.
you could have a good story and good gameplay and get away with graphics. I mean, that's the thing. So
Look at Transistor. I mean that's getting awesome reviews.
it
and
looks.
it's-
I think it has an artsy feel, and there's nothing wrong with it. It looks good, and it plays good, and there's customization.
What a
And
journey, dude.
I think just to maybe think of it as that every game. I was thinking about it. Bound by Flame has a couple good things. I won't. Well, with that game, there's so many customizations that you can do. Not so many, but every new game needs to have where you can customize almost anything. I mean, as a video game, as we play it, we want to be able to, make ourselves unique. And I don't know why most games just don't have all this customization that we can literally have. And even RPGs,
what Bound by Flame did really good was the customization of the sword and kind of the armor. Like they don't allow you to choose the armor. I mean, they don't even let you customize your character. Barely. They give you like what 5 or 6.
Yeah, I don't
like,
understand.
pieces, and like the character creation sucks. But
Budget game.
But budget game, yeah. But for a budget game that was $50, I can customize the look of my sword. Like I don't remember the last RPG where you could do that.
Like actually craft
Yeah,
your sword.
like you can add things to your sword that changes the blade, that changes like the handle.
That's cool.
Like yeah, like
And I don't see why that's so difficult to do.
and same with the armor.
Right.
Like you can add a certain set of armor that gives you like lions like on your shoulders as like your shoulder guards, or like leg plates and stuff like that, like knee plates and all that stuff. Like
It has,
oh yeah,
I mean, it has a little, and it kind of has like a basic of it, like what he's talking about. Like, you could do a little of it. You could do like maybe 10 different things of armor
you can
on
do
each
budget
one.
game with it. That's what
Yeah, that's what I mean. And I can't see why, like, these AAA games can't have this huge customization. I mean, there are people that will do 4 or 5 hours just customizing their guy.
Customization
Oh, yeah.
matters, dude.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
computer guys always do that.
When you play games, you play them as yourself. So adding customization to a game is a huge deal for a lot of people. It's a big deal for me. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I make my characters look like me all the time because I think it's awesome. Even like back in like Rainbow Six 1, I think it was for Xbox 360. You could use the camera, the little iToy camera or the Sony Snap Cam or whatever or the Xbox camera. You could take a picture of your face and then put it on the character. I don't know if you guys ever did that. You
No.
can take a picture of your face and it takes the image and it wraps it around the character's face, and your face is in that game.
That's funny.
I remember that.
It was
yeah.
cool, and you could play multiplayer with it.
Was it kind of creepy though?
It was creepy, yeah,
Yeah.
because I mean, you never made a straight face. You're always just like, making some like nasty face, but it was hilarious. when you
Stretched out fucking balloon,
when you shoot your friend in the neck, and then you look at his body, and he's making like this like horrifying face. It's hilarious.
You can do that on 3DS too. There's the AR games where I can take a picture of you and then like you start appearing like in spaceships and I shoot
Yeah,
you.
they should do that with with those pet games that the Nintendogs. They should allow you like take a picture of like Rich's face and put it on a dog.
Well, he kind of looks like a dog, so.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Whoa!
Whoa.
Take a shot at me?
Low blow!
Whoa. Holy
Actually,
fuck.
I think it was a compliment.
Yeah.
bullshit was Bob.
Rough Bob.
Get
Yeah.
out of the podcast.
Hey,
All right, this is Bob's
stays.
last episode.
Yeah. I had a good run. I like to thank my family.
To take everyone. Yeah, like a fucking award ceremony.
But you said games that look next gen. Now, Final Fantasy 15,
Oh,
for
God.
whatever it's worth,
No, you're right, dude.
that game, I mean, yeah, it's been delayed to hell, but that game looks like it's going to be a
It
next
looks
gen
really
game.
good,
Like,
especially for the combat.
if you haven't
Not
seen it,
turn-based.
no, go check out that
Yeah.
gameplay trailer, because that gameplay trailer is...
I'm not a turn-based guy, but
Just big
It's not
boss.
turn-based.
and I've never ever gotten
I
into
know.
Final Fantasy ever. I've played it once and I was like, nope, because it was turn-based. I wasn't into it. But this might be the first Final Fantasy game I played just because it's not turn-based.
It
If
looks-
it's ever released.
Well,
If it's ever released.
And,
Final Fantasy. Go ahead, Bob.
And the nice thing, like I watched like the videos on it, and like they show the bosses, and there's like they're bigger, and there's different ways to kill them and stuff. I mean, that's amazing. That's what I want to see. I want to see more bosses that are like different tactics. Zelda does it all the time. I mean, they might not be the best bosses or like whatever, but you always have to like figure out a puzzle to beat the boss, and that's why you like Shadow of Colossus, because it was always a puzzle to figure out where it is.
Everyone, dude.
And
Yeah.
and they were big. I mean, that's just
They flew. They went underwater.
no one would
They
be ever
they crushed
upset.
you.
If-
They had 4 legs. It's like, oh man, I love that game. I'm gonna play it right now. I want to play it right now, dude.
Yeah.
Like, how do you
it's a
guys
great
feel
game.
when you like go to like a boss battle and he's this little guy?
The
Like,
thing-
do you feel like what? This is it?
Yeah,
this
just
little
like,
guy?
what the heck?
If
Like,
it's a really fast, epic fight, I don't mind it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if it's just like this, oh, I got to hit him, 9 times, and then he's dead, and, dodge one.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay to have small bosses at times, but once you see a big boss and you just look at him, you're like, oh
shit.
You're
yeah,
like,
that's a classic video game stereotype of a boss is a big, burly, scary, huge boss. I love it, dude. Like every time I see one, I'm like, yes.
You're
yeah,
never like, oh, he's too big. No, you freaking
Yeah,
love it.
Yeah,
Well, even the final boss in Shadow Colossus.
yeah.
Like, it's like, what the
Yeah.
Yep.
All that crap.
Spoiler. Just kidding.
Yeah, that game's been out long enough.
Oh,
Special
dude.
Effects 7th.
Yeah, man. Like, the thing about Shadow of the Colossus that makes it amazing is that the entire game is just boss fights. You don't fight anything else. You just fight, 16 giant colossi, which are all boss fights. Like,
Yeah.
it's just a series of 16 boss fights. And
And-
they're difficult, but they're fun.
And it tells such a good story with, like, no words.
Yep.
Very little dialogue
There's
in that game.
maybe like a couple paragraphs of dialogue in the entire game.
Yeah.
It's fantastic, dude. That is my pinnacle of what a video game is and what a video game should be.
And that was on PS2.
Yeah.
Last Guardian's going to be on PS4.
Yep.
Or
Maybe.
PS5.
Or PS5.
Maybe.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
see.
maybe.
But yep, that's what makes a game next gen for me.
It's a good next-gen game.
Yeah, I know. I can't wait, dude. I can't wait. So we're gonna do a little review roundup. We're gonna do stuff on impressions. We're gonna be doing what we've been playing, what we finished, and what our impressions are on the game. So we're gonna start with, since we've been talking about it a lot, with Bound by Flame, featuring Bob.
Bye-bye, Bob.
Bound
Bye,
by
bye, bye.
Flame. Bound by Flame. Right. First of all, we all know it's a budget game, and when you're
Yeah.
playing it, you know it's a budget, and you just see how it goes. You guys know the dialogue, the voice acting dialogue is absolutely terrible.
Yep.
The story is absolutely terrible, and you don't feel connected.
I don't
to
even
the,
know what's going on in the story.
You
to be
don't.
honest.
You don't even care.
I'm just 18 hours in. I have no clue what's going on.
Yeah, I was worried about the fighting and stuff and how it was, and there were times that I was dying on these weird like bosses. I'd be on the ground and they would kill me, and there's nothing I could do. It was just ridiculous. But I still had fun with fighting, and there was some good customization in it. My overall opinion with it would be, if you want to play an RPG and you have a PS4 and you're just bored, I would play it. I mean, it's not like Dark Souls. I know Rich is shaking his head. It's not like that. But, in that game, to justify it, I was playing it and I enjoyed myself, and I continued to want to play it and just beat it and everything. I felt like the game was really short, though.
How short?
Oh,
It was a budget game, Bob.
I lost track. I think it was...
I did a lot of exploring.
How many do you... I did.
I know I'm at the end because Bob was way behind me.
I think
And
like
he- and
20
then he
hours.
played it
No,
for
it was like 20 hours. And for an RPG, I mean...
Yeah,
it's
kind of short.
I'm 18
yeah.
hours in. So
Yeah, and the side quests in it, when I was playing with the side quests, you'd play it and you'd hope they'd actually do something for you and help you out. I mean, some do, but most of them are just kind of they're just terrible.
Let me add to that side quest thing. That's one thing that pissed me off so much in that game is you don't know you have side quests because they don't tell you on your map. They don't show you like some different colored exclamation mark or any icon on your map saying, "Hey, this person has a side quest." You have no clue. You'll just go, and if you feel like hearing 5 minutes of dialogue, of shitty dialogue, you'll go and you'll talk to a random NPC that's in your camp, and then they'll give you a side quest. But they don't have a marker on their map.
Can you go find it?
Yeah,
I think a monster
like,
ate it.
You don't know who's going to give you a side quest.
You have
so
no
you have
clue.
to talk to every person in the game and figure out who's actually going to give you a side quest. And then even the side quest. There's like a number 1, it shows a 1 sign, and that's main quest. Number 2 is side quest. And
this is on the map he's talking about.
Yeah, on the map. And when you look at the map, you go to this location, and some of them you can't get into yet, and they don't let you know on it. So I mean, it's a lot.
And you can't jump.
There's no jumping. There are walls that you stop at, and you just can't go through. You can't. But if you're ready to expect all this budget stuff, and you can get over it, it is there is some fun parts in that game.
Now explain why should they? Because you said they should pick it up if they're bored and they have a PS4 and they have to get some extra cash. Why should they pick it up? Because it sounds like you hated it.
Is it really worth $50?
I enjoyed fighting. It was kind of like Dark Souls. I'm barely just listen. Listen, Rich. Careful.
Not even close.
Just listen. Right, I'll let you talk after I'm talking. It's kind of like Dark Souls. Like the enemies take a while. They're sword sponges again. But you had to do slight tactics to figure it out. You had these companions that didn't really help. But I just really enjoyed.
The companions sucked.
Yeah, they're terrible. But no, I did have fun fighting, and I really had fun because I died a lot, so it was challenging. I like the challenge, and I like just the fighting of it, and I wanted to continue doing it. And I would just say my overall overall verdict of the game is probably a 6.5, 6.0 to 6.5. It's one of those games. If you really are bored, play it. You might have fun with it. According to Rich, he hates it, but
let's hear why, Rich.
Yeah.
Why do you hate that game so much?
All right. Well,
now keep in mind, Rich isn't even a couple hours into the game.
And that's your problem.
No. I'm 4 hours.
No,
in.
you're in this.
I got past the swamp.
Okay, he's barely in the swamp.
All right, but I can.
Let me say one more thing before you go.
Go ahead.
At the beginning, I was really bored of the game, but as I continue playing, getting more customization, more different powers and skills, because you get a skill tree, I enjoyed myself a lot more. So, I mean, the more you play it, I think the more I liked it. And I was actually upset when it ended. I was like, I didn't think it was going to end, and it ended.
Wanted more, didn't you?
I did want more. I wish it was a 40-hour game, and I would have played it all through, because I did enjoy myself.
For an extra $10.
Yeah, for the extra $10.
Get some DLC.
For $60, it could have been a good game.
Whoa! Seventh sword over here.
Yeah.
Let's hear why he's.
I guess the reason why I'm disappointed in this game is because one, I played The Witcher 2 as well as the original Witcher, but The Witcher 2 had a fantastic combat system that this game is retardedly trying to mimic, and it's just not doing a very good job.
Yeah.
The combat is very. It doesn't flow very well. It's very blocky to me. You go in, you hit a guy with 4 slashes, and you can't even stun him. You have to kick him to stun him, so you can't stun him with a heavy attack.
That's not true.
That's not true.
Which is, maybe you guys get a skill later on. This is my first impression of this game. Okay, this is my first impression, not a full-blown review. This is why I'm not continuing to play it. 2, it's completely different from Dark Souls' combat. Dark Souls has a weight and a feel to it, and you can actually dodge roll. You can't dodge roll in this game. You can do a back dodge thing, but you can't do a dodge roll.
I clarified as the enemies are tough and they take a while, not as
they're not tough in terms of they're actually difficult to beat. They're tough because they have too much health.
Well, it depends on the level of difficulty.
Is that true though?
What?
Is that true though? They're more they're just damage sponges.
I would say not. I mean, there are times in a certain situation when they get more powerful to beat you there was times when I was playing and I didn't have a companion, and if you want a hard difficulty, because the companion kind of distracts the enemies, that if they all went at you at the same time, you could, there'd be 3 or 4 enemies at one time, and if they all went at you at the same time,
you're screwed.
You're screwed.
You're done.
So I mean, that's how I would compare it to Dark Souls, as that you can't just go in there and hack and slash.
It's got that hit them a few times and then jump out of the way kind of thing.
Yeah, and
but it's like a shitty Dark Souls.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying to the point of that.
And I guess the reason why I am really disappointed is that there is a good game here. And that's what it's not just straight up terrible, and it's not like really, really good.
That's true.
It's just like it's really middle of the road.
It has potential for a good sequel.
Like exactly, Bound by Flame 2 could be a fantastic game if they learn from their mistakes. Which they're a new studio, so I'm going to give them a little bit of slack there. And that's why I bought the game. I want to see what they did, and I'm going to attempt to finish it, and maybe I'll like it better. But as of right now, I am not enjoying that game.
Now, since Rich is only a few hours in, Bob beat it. I'm kind of like the middleman. I'm almost done. I'm right at the end. I will say I agree with a lot of what Rich said, and I agree with a lot of what Bob said. It is in the realm of they were trying to go for Dark Souls combat, but it didn't work out. The combat is satisfying as you play.
Yes.
Because what happens is it's weird. Like the enemies don't scale at all in the game. It's like you start out the game, and the game was the hardest ever. Like so far, like the hardest part of that game was the beginning, because you start out and you don't do any damage. You do no damage. That's why it takes like 1,000 hits to kill somebody, and you're getting destroyed at the beginning of the game. But as you play, you acquire new equipment. You learn how to upgrade it. You put money, game money obviously, into your stuff to upgrade it, and you get more powerful weapons, and then you start slaughtering people. Like the people at the beginning of the game that were killing me, I was slaughtering. Even the people at the end of the game, I'm destroying.
Well, I would say later on at the almost at the final end, that's like there's like the specials, like almost like this location that you're at, that you actually feel that the enemies are pretty difficult.
Yeah, location I'm at, it's a little rough. It works like this. Like there's a few boss fights that you get throughout the game, and near the end of the game, you start facing those as normal foes. So, like, a couple big guys that you fought as bosses, you fight, like, two of them at once.
They can kill you, and that's the thing. I mean, these little guys, most likely they won't kill you. There's been times I was dying because, just different situations that you had to kind of change. I mean, I don't think the tactics were always the best in that game. Definitely not. But I did enjoy that, I would die. It wasn't just like, if I wouldn't die and it was just crazy hack and slash, I just not be able to dodge, I would have hated it.
Play The Witcher 2, though.
No, the thing is, Rich, I did play The Witcher 2. I got into it. I watched the opening credits. Like I did the first fight or whatever it was, I think, and I don't even remember. I stopped playing after like half an hour because there was no direction. I had no clue what to do. I had no clue where to go. I'm not a guy I don't like popping open strategy guides.
You didn't give it enough chance.
I don't like
Probably.
I needed direction. Like if I'm starting off a brand new game, give me a direction to go in to get me started. Like
you wonder if Witcher 3 is going to be like that,
Yeah. So I don't know. For me, Bound by Flame was a solid 7, just because the pros counterweigh the cons, but there's more cons than there are pros.
Yeah, I would agree.
From what you guys are saying, it sounds like something I would not play.
No. I don't think you would.
I wouldn't fork out the $50 in
No, there's other games that you can play that are better. But if you got an extra $50, if you want to give your PS4 or Xbox One some love, then pick it up.
I mean, I'm not upset that I picked it up. As completing it, I'm not upset for it because me and Chris actually split it.
I love playing everything. I'm glad I supported the studio. I hope they make a second one. For sure. And that's what it's about for me. It's more about
supporting. Yeah, exactly.
So really quick, the other two games that we've been playing this week are Child of Light and Transistor, and Rich here has dove into Child of Light.
Child of Light is nice. It's got a good feel to it.
I'm probably gonna pick that up for PS4.
You just feel it just feels nice. It's nostalgic in a way.
Like
too.
A story, you're like a storybook. That I would say. I mean, the turn-based is a little different, not too different.
It doesn't do anything drastically.
No, and it's but it I like how it's going. It's fun. It's a nice little storybook game. It's beautiful. It looks beautiful.
If anyone out there has played the Grandia series, it's got that kind of time bar going on where you can see enemies. Like they take their turn, you can interrupt them, all that stuff like that. So it's a nice and tried and true battle system that really worked well for Grandia, and it works well here too.
I would say me and Rich, probably going to finish it before our next podcast, so we'll be able to give our review of what we thought about it. Yeah. And I just literally picked up Transistor. And I'm having a great time with it. I mean, it has a little turn-based. It's not really turn-based, but you can slow down time and then do these attacks.
It looks like Diablo a little bit.
Yeah, I would say that's a good way to describe it. It looks like Diablo as well. And what's nice is there's so many customizations of your powers, because you can change them in different ways. There's a passive and an active. So right now I have 6 powers, but I can combine them to make 6 times, whatever. So I mean, there's so many different ways to play it. I really feel like that game has a lot of replayability. So it's definitely fun. I enjoy it, and I actually really digging the story right now.
Yep, those were 2 heavily praised games all over the media right now. So if you're listening, still go grab those games, go play them. Leave us your thoughts. Leave any comments that you have in the Talk Gaming section, anywhere. Hopefully on this podcast, so we know what to talk about next week. Give us what you want to hear us talk about. Shout out to a few people who posted some topics for us to talk about this week. That's about all we got. So we'll see you next Thursday, right?
Yeah, is it Thursday?
Yeah. We'll
Yeah.
see
I think by next Thursday, I'm gonna have that platinum and a new PS4.
Yeah, he'll have that
Oh,
platinum.
you better.
We'll be in
Challenge accepted.
We'll be diving into Wolfenstein.
Yeah.
We'll have a lot more for you next week. So thanks for tuning in again. This is Chris, Jbone, Bob, and the Seventh Sword, Rich
Yeah.
Red One, signing out. Thank you.
Bye-bye.